How are you, brother? Good to see you. Happy New Year, I should say.
Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to all you mob up there in Cairns.
Yeah,
Um, from us mob down here in Maryvale. So
very well, and I reckon Happy New Year to all our avid listeners, I suppose, our regulars that come on to listen to us have a yarn. um, so I hope everyone got through the festive season okay. So and
yeah, like
caught up. Yeah, mate.
as
Yeah,
as we always say, brother. I mean, a few people struggle through this time, and I know there's a few people struggling. So yeah, all the best to everyone out there that finds this time a little bit challenging, brother.
yeah, that's right, brother. Yeah, yeah. It is a bit challenging, and unfortunately, social media doesn't help with that situation. So people seeing other people enjoying themselves, so it's kind of not. You know, I feel for people that missing their family and friends. So yeah,
No,
for whatever
definitely.
reason, yeah, for whatever reason. So mate, I'm just going to acknowledge. I'm back. I'm trying to think where I am. I'm back home. So Yirinji country.
Yeah.
I'd like to acknowledge the Budigal people from the Torres Straits, and I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects and honour my elders, I guess, our elders, right around the country, so all of those elders out there, I'd like to just pay my respects and honour those people who have led the way for us, really. They've done the hard yards and passed the baton on, so now we're kind of, you know, um, running the race for them. So um, it's it's a privilege, actually. Actually, it's an honour, isn't it? Yeah.
I think you're spot on, brother.
Mm.
Like I agree totally. I mean, so I too, well said again. I too want to just acknowledge, um, all the traditional custodians wherever we meet, work, and play, and just pay the utmost respects to all our elders, past, present, and any up and coming. And we've got a lot of good young leaders coming up at the moment, brothers, and we need to be able to embrace them and let them take a lead as well. We've had, as you said before, we've had some beautiful elders, and we've got all our ancestors that fought so hard for us to be able to get us where we are today. But now it's like our turn to be able to. I think you said it before. Like hand the baton over. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, and there is some really, I think it's a bright future, brother. Like there's a fair bit of doom and gloom going on in the world, but I think our mobs
Mm.
are, are taking the lead in this, and there's a whole lot of shit happening, with regards to that stem from the voice and all this sort of stuff, but um, and
Mm.
now we've got a bit of a shit show with the welcome to country and all this sort of stuff, brother. But I don't think some people are getting what actually welcome to country or acknowledgement to country means, because it's not about acknowledging or welcoming people to actually Australia. It's that divide, the different countries that we have within Australia. So I think
Mm. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really important for people to understand, because I don't think they are understanding it, brother.
No, I don't think they understand it at all, mate. Yeah, it's that old adage that always, comes up. I've lived here all my life, so why am I, why am I, being acknowledged? I suppose. Why do I have to acknowledge country? That type of stuff. But really, it's a lot of the time, the importance is with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We move around quite a lot, and we acknowledge the mob that we're with. Where we are. It's kind of a protocol for all of us. You know what I mean? So, and in doing so, it kind of has grown into this acknowledgement from non-Aboriginal people being on Aboriginal lands. So initially, it was us acknowledging, the beautiful country that we're standing on and the people in it, and that type of stuff. And that's something that we do as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Certainly is, commendable that people are outside of those communities, now acknowledging country as well, and the custodians. Really, it's really, a choice thing, I suppose. But and sometimes. Yeah, I hear the Melbourne Storm aren't doing that again. So who knows? We'll never say never. But especially when you had the likes of Mr. Greg Inglis down there, playing footy for him, and the other bloke from up in Darwin. What was his name? I'm trying to think of his name. There's been a few for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. You got young, what's the name, Xavier Coates playing for them at the moment as well. So you know, it's and it's. I think it's about them being able to say, acknowledge and pay respects and honour, the country they're on at the moment. So, um, you know, I think that's. I don't know how it's going to work, but basically that's what it is. It really is like me being. I'm on Yidinji country. I should acknowledge country here, but also should welcome people here as well because,
Yeah,
my mother's from this country. You know what I mean? So this is my mum's
yeah.
country.
I think that's beautiful, brother. I think an acknowledgement. What better way? But also welcome to my country. I mean, I don't think it's that hard for people to understand that
Mm,
there's different countries within Australia. Um, in the whole setup of what we call Australia now. Um,
mm.
and I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that hard. So
No, I don't think it's that hard. But I also think that a lot of many people, I would say, in Australia don't realise that there are different Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander groups within this mass, this land mass we have here called Australia. So different languages, different beliefs, different norms, different values in different parts of this country. So it's been like that forever and ever. We've got different language groups. Went to Groote Island, and there's probably three different dialects up there that aren't English. So it's quite interesting that that should happen, and you see it everywhere else as well. Other countries, I suppose. You have Chinese, for instance. Chinese, there are different dialects in Chinese in China as well. Different languages spoken, on different parts of that particular country, I suppose. And same thing happened in England, where you've got the Scots and the Welsh and the Irish, all in Great Britain. So it's kind of the same thing happens here. Same thing happens here, and yeah, we're all different. We're all different mob. Yeah.
so question, why is it easier to understand about, like say Europe or different dialects and those sort of things, but why is it hard to understand for people here?
Oh, look, mate, I think that a lot of that history, came with colonialism, I suppose. You know what I mean? We're all tarred with the one brush, really, and not a lot of people paid any attention. No one got to know, mob. There'd be, instances where there were people that settled and got to know, community there, Aboriginal community there, and understand that type of stuff. But generally, it's not taught in school. It wasn't taught in school. We weren't allowed to talk about it. Our elders, and that's why I acknowledge and honour our elders and pay them respect, because if they started to talk about it, but also associate with other Aboriginal people, they'd be in trouble. Um, you know, so they tried to outlaw everything like that. So the continuation of our culture, yeah, we weren't allowed to
Yeah,
do that.
and and may we say too, the oldest living culture in the world as well. So I mean, like you can't argue with that, and you know, I just think that taking a moment to acknowledge or to welcome people to country, I just think it's such a basic thing, really. I mean,
Yeah,
it's nothing that's gonna hurt anyone. It's nothing that's gonna do any damage to anyone. But it's just a sign of respect um, that people
mm,
wanna be able to. You're proud where you're from. I'm proud where I'm from. So why can't we actually acknowledge that and then say welcome to my country?
Yeah,
And I think
definitely.
it's the concept that people don't understand is they thinking it's the whole of Australia that you're welcoming when you're talking about living in Cairns or in up that way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
it's yeah, it just makes you wonder a little bit that people don't try and understand.
Try and understand it. Yeah, yeah. What basically, what if you're not from, if you're, obviously a descendant from a European or English or a migrant, um, you need to understand that there were people here before this, and you're acknowledging the land as well as the people that looked after it. So to be here, kind of stuff. It was kind of weird when I was growing up because on telly there was all these John Wayne movies, and John Wayne, was a cowboy, I suppose, who was always fighting the Indians, if not other cowboys. You know what I mean? And I got to know a bit about the Apache and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Indians
definitely.
and everyone else did too. That I should say, everyone else did. They knew more about the Native Americans than they knew about Aboriginal people.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, they knew the name. They knew a little bit about it, but they didn't know nothing about Yiddish people are from here, and you got the Irukandji over, and Yarrabah, you got the Kukulalaji up here, all of that stuff. They didn't know that in their own town or in their own where they live. So it was all
yeah,
about. It's weird, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I agree, brother. I agree. And like my mum was of Scottish heritage, and my dad's of Aboriginal heritage. And you acknowledge both. I mean,
Oh,
that's fine to do. But you know what I mean. People, I don't think you know, if you're non-Aboriginal, you don't get asked if you're or what part of you is Italian or what part of you is Scottish, or
mm.
but you get asked, oh, what part of you is Aboriginal?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It sort of makes you laugh a little bit. You know what I mean? Well,
Oh,
it
absolutely.
used to make you wild. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's probably laughable now, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's what's that old saying? If you add milk to coffee, it's still coffee. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
still
yeah,
coffee. You know what I mean? So it's. I mean, my ancestry as well, like yours, Jack, is I've got Scottish in me too, as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
my mother's family, they her grandfather, her father, and grandfather was Scottish. So
yeah.
Alexander Cuttle. So I'm a byproduct of that too. I'm a descendant of that, the Scottish, the clan, the Cuthill.
Definitely. Yeah.
And yes, and it's interesting because I reached out recently. I was on Facebook and I saw come across this page called the Cuttle Family Discussion Page, and my auntie, who is my sister, um, her her maiden name's Cuthill. So and I posted up there that my auntie at 91 passed away. Her name was Rosie. I won't say her name, but her last name was Cuttle. And all of a sudden, this bloke David Cuttle got back to me, and he said, "Oh well, you're my second, third cousin or something." And my
Yeah, well,
grandfather, the Scottish bloke got back to me and said all these things. And I thought, holy crap, we've got to go there. I've got to go and meet these people, and find out a little bit more about where the old fella came from, great grandfather. So, yeah, the great grandfather, yeah, for me, yeah. So, and I'm going to take all of my Innisfail, my aunties, we'll go all going together. I think 2027 is when we're taking off over Scotland. So, so it'd be nice. I think that'll be interesting. The other, I've got ancestry from my mother's side too, over in Vanuatu. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
we're all a bit of a fruit salad, if you want to call us that.
Well,
We've got bit and pieces of everything. Yeah, you know.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why there can't be an acknowledgement or there can't be a welcome to the different countries in Australia. You know what I mean? That's
Mm,
what's sort of. a little bit mystifying to me, and
Yeah, yeah,
you know, maybe just sit down and listen to, you know, it's not a welcome to Australia, because I've heard a lot of people say, "Why would I want to be welcome to my own country?"
yes,
Um, Understand what the actual welcome is about, or the acknowledgement is about. It's about the country. So
absolutely. And I think that's the same as when you go to someone else's house. You go there for the first time, they'll say, welcome to our home. And you say, I'm happy to be here. That type of stuff. All that kind of stuff. Really nice to be here. All that kind of thing. So it's the same thing. Yeah. G'day, Francis. Francis White has joined us
g'day,
on Tuesday.
friend. Here I am.
Hey, friend. Yeah, yeah. So it's that same thing. It's just that courtesy. It's just plain courtesy. Being polite, being acknowledging. And people say, "Oh, you got a lovely home," all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the same thing here. They're here up in North Queensland. They'll say, "Geez, it's beautiful up here." So but they need to understand that this place is been looked after by people throughout the years, for the decades, the centuries. It's been looked after, and looked after and respected, I suppose. And I was yeah, anyway. I don't know whether you've seen that little. There's a post going around about this fellow. I think he's a psychologist, Australian bloke, and he talks about the human condition. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that, mate. I'll send it to you anyway. But have a
yeah,
listen. It's
okay.
an interview. It talks about why humans are like they are. You
Yeah.
know. Um,
Maybe put it in the chat too, CJ. I mean, for everyone else
yeah,
to have a look at it as well. And
yeah.
um,
I'll see if I can find it, and then I'll. I actually, yeah, I know where it is. Um, but yeah, I'll share that in the chat because I
yeah,
think
no,
that
it's good, really good. Fran said, "I'm very good, fellas." That's good to hear. Hope you had a good New Year's and good Christmas, Fran. Um, Tell us about your thoughts on welcome or acknowledgement of the country, because we'd love to hear that too, Arnie. Yeah. So you back at work, CJ?
yeah, I'm back here now. I've just been chasing up some work, getting some dates and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's yeah, just getting ourselves organised, I suppose. Mate, I don't know whether I've told you this, but we've got a big year this year. We always have a big year. We don't stay long in one place. So um, how am I going? Am I still in the yeah, yeah, good
All right.
now. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
so this year we're here back in Cairns, so we're here until March, or well, actually, might be a little bit into April. So, but then we move. We're heading over to Bali for a good 6 months.
March.
Yeah, it'll be in April, probably mid-April. I think we're trying to get in a. Our lease runs out on the 30th of March, but we're trying to go into April a couple of weeks. So, this gives us a bit more time to sort out a few things and get ourselves organised. So, um, but yeah, we're going to head over to Bali. Um, be over there for about, I don't know, I'd like to be there for 6 months. We might only be there for 5 months. And I don't know whether I've talked about Michelle's situation. She's got this thing called lipedema. Now,
Yeah.
don't get it mixed up with lymphedema. Lymphedema, the lymph glands and lymph nodes and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff in your body. This is lipedema. So it's LIPDIMAIMEMIA or something like that. Anyway, lipedema is kind of a condition that women get, and I think it's only women. I'm not sure whether men get it as well, but it has to do with their hormones and stuff. So when they have children, they can get it when they go from puberty to adult, and they can get it. It's a bit like, and once they've had their menopause as well, they can bring it on. So she's got this thing, and it can't be. It She can't get rid of it. Like it's hereditary. When we think back now, we know that her auntie had it, her mother had it. All of these, you can tell by the way they look. They have the cankles and they've got the, big
Yeah.
legs and
Sure.
stuff. Yeah. So, Um, so she's done the research. She only found out what she had by mistake, because by accident, because she hurt her leg at a gym, and someone came over and said, "Oh, you look like my sister," So this woman pulled out the photos and said, "Yeah, they're my legs." Michelle said, "Oh, they're my legs." Anyway, lipedema it is. It's called. She said it's lipedema, and her sister had been diagnosed with it. It's kind of a new discovery, and it's been around, but it's been around. It's a new discovery here in Australia, but it's been around a lot in places like America and other countries as well. So she's done the research, and basically the only way you can get rid of it, you can't get rid of it by eating less or exercising more. It's there. It's like it's not attached to your lymph nodes. It's actually just this fluid that's just there. And even though she was pretty active when she was younger, I think it was after the young bloke, the youngest bloke, but then also the move to Darwin was a bit stressful. So yeah, so she put on the weight. Even though she was going to the gym, I was going to the gym. Just couldn't shake it. So lipedema it is, and there's a number of people that operate, and you have to have an operation. You have to get it surgically removed. Um, and you can get it done in Australia, but there's guys that do cosmetic surgery that have picked up. There's this thing called lipedema now, and they're starting to provide surgery treatments, as well as the what do you call it, the cosmetic stuff as well. You know what I mean? Facelifts and
Yeah,
all that stuff. So
def-
they're really, and they're very expensive here in Australia. So she's done some research. She's found fellas in Germany. Uh, what's the other country? Another European country. I don't know whether it's France or, but there's one in Spain. Now the guy in
Spain.
yeah, Spain is a Spain in Madrid. There's a doctor in Spain whose wife had lipedema. So and he learned how to get rid of it. He said, "Oh, I'm going to have to operate and get my wife." Because if you let it go, whoever's got it will end up having mobility problems down the track, and that's
Yeah,
I go into
sure.
the shop now. I go and do all the stuff, because Michelle's not able to. Um, even flying and getting upstairs, and that was a big effort for her. So we're going to be heading to Spain. We've talked to the surgeons. We've sent them photos. We've had conversations and a whole range of things. And Michelle at the moment is looking at 5 surgeries over a period of, say, one surgery that's 10 days to recover, and then from surgery day to the next surgery is 2 months. So she's got 10 days to recover. We've got, another 20 days before the next surgery. So, and then we'd either fly from Denpasar and Bali to Madrid and fly back 5 times, or we just stay in Spain. So that's the plan. So we're not going to move from Spain. We're just going to, once we get there, once her operations start, we're going to stay in Spain until it's all over. So she's got to, she's going to need care in between
Yeah,
surgeries.
definitely.
But even if she's well enough, we're going to go and have a look around. So we're thinking about buying ourselves or renting ourselves a little bloody, what do you call it, like a RV sort of thing.
Oh, yeah,
And
okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just drive around. It's not like driving around in Australia. Here where you travel 2 days and you're still in Queensland. Um, you
Yeah,
know, over there you drive a day and you're through a few countries. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. So and yeah, so that's our plans for this year. So it kind of goes into next year as well. So we're not going to head over to Spain until after our Bali stuff. She's got to lose about 10 kilos, and I think she'll do that over in Bali. But also things are cheaper in Bali as well. You can have those lymphatic massages here. I think they're about $150 a session. So in Bali, it's of course it's not cheap, but $20, So she can have
yeah.
one a day, yeah, that type of stuff. So but it's all about her mobility at the moment, and we're just looking after, making sure that she can live the rest of her life without pain. So, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, sending MJ, um, the biggest healing and love, and we're all there to support her, mate. So,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
very and very brave to come on and have a yarn about it. So,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
might get her to come and have a yarn about it maybe next week or whatever, just
yeah, I reckon
so
that'd be
people
good.
who are listening today can understand what it's about because it's been like she's had it for probably I don't know, a good 10 years, and she's been beating herself up a lot. What's wrong with me? How come I can't
Yeah,
lose this weight? All that kind of stuff. So no one, she didn't know what it was. Um, Doctors would tell her to go, eat less, move more type of stuff, but that doesn't help at all. Yeah, so it's more to do with her health and the quality of her life, I suppose, that we need to go and get this done. So we've worked towards it. I suppose that's what we've been doing is putting money aside to go and do that kind of thing. So you know we're keen to do it. So this is the year we start doing that. So and we know by the end of this year she'll be well and truly on her way to
yeah.
recovery. So
And I think that's fantastic, brother. I mean, because like as you said, I mean, there's times when you should be beating yourself up, about putting on a bit of weight and then not being able to lose it as you probably would have been able to in like when she was younger. But to find this out is probably a little bit of a relief to say,
yes,
like it's not actually my fault. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
I think it's just fantastic. So
Yeah,
yeah, look, and I think it's great too that that you come on and share it, brother. I mean, because people wouldn't understand it, and because I
no.
remember last time we ran into it or we had dinner together, Michelle was explaining a fair bit about it. So yeah,
Mm,
look, I just think all kudos to both of you for coming on and
mm.
having a yarn about it, and yeah, and it's just probably such a relief for MJ that that it's not actually her fault. It's not, it's
No,
something that you can't control. So
it's out of that. And now that we get around a fair bit, now that we know what it is, we can see it in people when we get around, around the country, I suppose, whether we're shopping or whether we're, cruising around. So, and and basically what she's trying to do, and you're probably seeing some of her stuff on her Facebook page, is explaining people what this is. She's trying to raise awareness about it, so that and there's not not an old person's thing as well. It's also young people. So this doctor we're going to see over in Spain, he 80% of his clients have got lipedema, come from other countries. You know, so he's kind of specialising in this thing because of his wife. Really, he knows what it's all about. He's
yeah, yeah,
got that bit of a buy-in, man. He had that emotional buy-in as well. He understood what people go through because he was, he witnessed it firsthand. So, but anyway, so
yes,
that's busy. That's why we've got a busy year, 2025, and I think it's going to be a good year for us. It'll be tough, and I'm sure we'll keep people abreast of how she's going with,
yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
through the surgeries and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
And to be honest, brother, there's probably worse places than Spain you could be stuck in. So, uh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah.
it's an upside to it as well. We might
Well,
have to come and visit you and say hello to MJ while you're over there. So,
come over and I'm planning on doing, even though we're here, I'm gonna see how she goes, and it's all day by day type of stuff, I suppose, in terms of her recovery. But if she's good and she feels comfortable, I suppose, and I'm thinking about going to do one part of the Camino Way. Um, every now and
oh,
then I'll do one part, then I'll go and do the next bit, then I'll come back and do the next bit. So I'm in Spain, so
yeah,
it's right
beautiful.
there. Here's my opportunity. So I'll be training for that, until we leave here, and also in Bali. So um, yeah, so come over and do a leg of the Camino Way
About
with
that,
me,
bro.
eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've always talked about doing that. So, yeah, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. No, so that'll be it, mate. Yeah, but yeah, see how she's tracking. I suppose if especially if friends come over, or there's been a lot of people say, yeah, we're going to come over and visit you, or if you're in Spain. Um, so I think that might be an opportunity for me to take off and do the walk and maybe take their
Yeah,
hubby
yeah,
or whoever for the walk, and those girls can look after each other. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
but there's a lot of organising, a lot of stuff we have to do. We've got a bloody shed load of stuff down in Brisbane. We've got to go. We come back down here in March to unload it, get rid of everything, and then we're quite good with that. But I've got to find one up here to put wasabi in, mate. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, got to keep her safe and ready when I get back. So, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Anyway,
So, so you're back in Cairns today. So, what's the weather like, brother?
mate, it was overcast this morning. When we got in, there was a little bit of rain, but it was overcast this morning. It cleared up a bit. There's like rain clouds around, but it's not raining. It's a bit of sunshine poking through at the moment. It's yeah, poking through the window there, and but yeah, no, it's good. The temperature's not too bad where we are. We're on the beach, so there's a bit of breeze. Went out there and cooked dinner tonight. For tonight, I went and cooked some steaks up on the barbecue. So, and that was good. There was a bit of a breeze, so it blew everything away and whatever. So, but yeah, no, it's good. I'm actually going to be doing. I'm back while we're away. I walked every day that I was away, but when I got back here last night, I slept in this morning. So I'm back on the road tomorrow, and I'm going to go and do that Camino. Oh, not Camino way, the Wangeti way, which is
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
that
yeah.
goes to Alice Beach. So yeah, I'll go and do that a couple of times a week, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good on you. Good on you.
yeah,
Well, I've been out of action, brother, with my fractured ankle.
ankle.
So it's
Yeah,
been 6 weeks now. Um, just back into walking, and it's feeling a lot better. Not
yeah,
100%, but it's feeling a lot better.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No, good stuff, mate. Well, you'll be back on. You'll be ready for it. Come towards the end of this year again, maybe even the middle of the year, but you'll be right. But I'd give it
yeah,
much
look,
rest as you can.
well, we got a couple of plans too. Like a couple of events. Like our move for Middenbar that we want to do as well. And so we're looking at doing a 10K. I think it's in May, and then a 25K in July or August, and then a marathon or just over a marathon, so that LB can run her first ultra marathon. Because anything over 42 Ks is an ultra marathon, so we're looking at probably 50 Ks that we want to do later on in the year. So we've got a big year work wise. We've got a big year planned for move to Mibbenbar as well. And yeah, look,
Yeah,
hopefully my ankle holds up, brother. But
yeah,
I'm
I know,
sure.
mate. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's what we've got to do. Make sure we're all looking after ourselves, I suppose, in terms of that. I see a few of our listeners. I saw what's her name? I'm trying to think of her. Melinda. She's been laid up in hospital for a fair while.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I've
wish her
seen
all
that
the
too.
best. Yeah.
Just started raining here, brother. So
Oh,
it's
that's nice. You need that out where you are. Jeez.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's but it's actually pouring at the moment. So
Good on you. Yeah, yeah, no. But yeah, Melinda's not, and what's his name, buddy, up in Townsville? He's been cook as well. So
yeah, Patrick Wayne.
Patrick Wayne, yep, and so he's been not well last year. Hope it's a better year for those guys this year. And I see that
Yeah,
another anniversary for Warren Towney as well. So
yeah. I've seen that today. I commented on his post. What an absolute
legend,
champion. You know what I mean? So
yeah, legend
yeah,
as well. And there's more people like coming out as well now. I've just noticed there's a couple of women that have come out and said that they've had to give up drinking a while ago. And it's the best thing they ever did, sort of stuff. So, not that everyone needs to. I mean, if you're still enjoying a drink, that's okay. But it's a choice thing, I suppose. Uh, yeah, and it's good to see Warren's next milestone, I suppose, already achieved. So big shout out to him. But also, big shout out to everyone, I suppose. Is like I just said, JB's talking about making sure that hopefully we can get to do all these things this year. we're hoping we're staying kind of healthy to be able to do what we've got to do this year. And yeah, so take care of yourself, look after yourself, mate. I think I might be. I don't know how I'm going to go, but I'll be up in the morning sometime if it's this time of night, on a Monday, coming in from Spain somewhere, I reckon.
Look, I can't wait. I mean, look, as we've said, like this is our fifth year. We're just about to hit a big milestone, five, the big five,
Yes.
in March this year. And look, I'm excited by what we've been able to achieve over the last four and three quarter, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's just amazing, and I think just to be able to, even when you're in Bali or when you're in Spain, I mean, I think it'll be fantastic to be able to still have these broadcasts going out, brother. I mean, because
Yeah.
I look, and you'll be the same. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go in Australia. Someone will say, "Yeah, look, I know you fellas from, like when you do your live and
Yeah.
have a yarn with people and that." And I think it's just beautiful, brother. Like
Oh,
it's seriously.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we know how much it did for us during COVID. Like
No.
we were able to, as we've explained many times, we weren't able to get out in community to do our community work. We met up on the beach one day, had a coffee, and then yeah, it just went from there, and it probably not probably it did so much good for my mental health, and I know you talk the same about it. Um, yeah, and it's just been fantastic, and just the beautiful guests and the amazing guests that we've
Oh,
had on over the years. It's just been amazing, and you don't realise that when people come back on to have a recheck in, if you like. It's been 4 years. It's been 3.5 years since they've been on, and you think, oh shit, it was only yesterday or last
yeah, it
week
feels
or
like
whatever.
it. That's right. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I remember who was that? Yeah, your friend down at the Gold Coast there. She came back on, and yeah, that was like early, 2020, I suppose. Yeah, 2020 that she came on board, and a whole lot of stuff went on between then and now. Like she was only on a couple of weeks ago. What was her name?
Yeah,
Bloody
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, 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 yeah. So interesting how where people are, and what's happening. Things change in people's lives as well, and things are meant to change. And even though we
Well,
think that yeah, things happen,
well,
it's
having
meant to
said
happen.
that, we nearly had Jan Hogan on tonight, brother, but
Oh, really?
she didn't have anyone at home to help her set up. So she's
All right.
gonna she's gonna come on and check in the next couple of weeks when she's got people there to help her. So that'll be good. I mean, she was probably one of our first guests, and as people
Yes.
know, she's in Wales, and just amazing stories. And I always
Mm.
see like posts from other people, and then like the likes of Jackie Bates
Oh,
and Jan Hogan commenting, and and just being there for other people here in Australia, and not that I suppose we played a big part in that, because we actually you know introduced these people, or put
yes.
like to be
Yeah.
able to do that. So I think it's
Mm.
just amazing, brother. It really is. So.
Oh, it is, mate. Yeah. In the what's his name over there in New Zealand. That's been nice too, because he's often about, and he's often commenting, and or liking posts and stuff that we've been putting up. So it's really good. And yeah, yeah. I know we'll probably continue doing what we're doing. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a change. Maybe we'll do something else. But we've always talked about it. But sometimes when we think about it, if it's not broke, then well, what do we need to fix it? Um, you know, and sometimes it's good to get more people on board. I suppose some of the guests that we, hopefully get throughout the year be great. Yeah, um, and I know that if I'm in Spain, I'm closer to England as well, and Wales. So who knows? Uh,
You
they
never know,
tend
brother.
Yeah, you never know. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So it's I reckon it's we just need to move it about a bit. We need to continue doing what we do. Supporting people is all it's what it's all about. Making sure everyone's okay. Having listened to some stories, because stories are what we do. This is what our mob always do: is have stories, talk about things that happened in our lives, talk about things that are happening in their lives. You know what I mean? So and it's really interesting and gives them an opportunity to talk about that stuff as well. You know,
Yeah, it does,
yeah,
brother. Like as we always say, like it's people have got stories to tell. They've got amazing stories to tell. All they
mm,
need is for someone to be able to listen to that. Um, and I think
yeah,
we've created that sort of platform that people can come on and have a yarn, and you know, y- sometimes you don't realise what other people are going through, and I think that's the amazing thing about being able to um, I don't know, show that people, sometimes they might look happy, sometimes they're struggling a lot, sometimes they,
mm,
struggle and just keep smiling. But it's always good to hear those stories, brother, and
yeah,
it's just amazing. So yeah,
yeah, mate. Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, and I think that us being here as much as we can, like we're normally here on a Monday night, but sometimes things happen and things happen in life like that as well. So people are, obviously faced with some of that stuff, but we're flexible enough to be here again. We might not be, well or whatever, but sometimes we just come on and just have a chat, and talk about that. You've heard a bit about my plans and we've heard a bit about JB's plans, you know what I mean? So, um, which is interesting and hopefully that might inspire others to do something as well.
yeah, and I think it's just about sharing. Brother. I mean, and like, um, people wouldn't realise that about MJ and
Mm,
what she's going through. So I think it's just, MJ's going through that, but you're going through that as
oh,
well. So for you to be able to get on here every week and with your big cheesy smile there, and it's just a credit to you and Michelle to what you're going through. So I think you fellas for
yeah. Look, mate, it's
you know,
always it's
and that's going to
important.
help other people as well, brother.
That's right. Yeah, it's important to support each other. You know what I mean? That's the main thing, and in life, and
We, And we talk a bit about this, like about looking after yourself and
mm,
caring for yourself, but it's also about that what you're saying there about caring for each other and having
mm,
those it's those relationships that really matter. And like
mm.
I did see your anniversary come up the other day, and I think it was forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 38 years. Um,
Correct,
and
mate. Yeah, that's right. 38 years.
and I think that's just amazing, brother. And I think it's such a testament to you guys that there would have been thick and thin times. Everyone has their ups and downs,
Oh,
but for you guys, like it's such a like it might sound like like just blowing wind or whatever, but to be honest, I mean for 38 years that you guys have been together through those ups, through those downs, through kids,
oh,
through grandkids, through house moves all the time, or whatever it is,
mm,
but you're still together. And I think that's a real testament to
oh, right.
respect, trust, and whatever else comes with that, brother. And we know that love is part of that as well, but it's probably it's a big part, but it's a small part as well because you've got so many
Oh,
other factors in that as well.
yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs. We work really hard. You know, relationships are like that. We need to work really hard to keep them going. And obviously, I had my health scare throughout the years, and now
Yeah, yeah,
Michelle's. So it's really about supporting each other in that sense as well. So through thick and thin, I suppose that's it. And it's like anything. You might not have some people might not be in a relationship, but you have your ups and downs. And you personally have ups and downs, And don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm lucky because I've got Michelle here to ask for help. You know what I mean? If I'm having problems, and the same with her. If she's having problems, she asks me for help, sort of stuff. So, but don't be shy in asking for help if you're struggling. That's the thing. And it takes, like I said, it's takes a bit of work. I mean, it's like anything. You start a business. Business isn't for everybody, and it's hard work. And you got to manage that. And if you get yourself a job in a place that you have to work hard at maintaining the relationships with everyone, it's hard work. Life is hard work, but the rewards are what we get. The benefits out of um,
I
challenging
couldn't
yourself is
say it any better,
amazing.
brother. I
Yeah.
couldn't have said it any better. I think that's fantastic what you're saying. And,
Mm.
look, we do, a workshop on relationships, and I always say, relationships are hard work because you have to work on them. You have to continually work on them. And I don't mean that in a denigrating way. I mean that in a positive way. But that shows commitment to what you're actually doing is to be able
Mm.
to firstly work hard on that commitment to yourself, but then to whether it be your husband or your wife or your
Mm.
partner or your brother or your sister or your mum or your dad or your children, whatever it is,
That's right.
they're they're challenging. They're challenging. Relationships are challenging. So
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, relationships are challenging, and you see your young ones grow up and become the young adult that they are, and now having kids. I've got another one due this month sometime. We haven't heard yet, so another grandchild, I would say. I
yeah,
can't say
yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
grandson. So that'll be really nice as well. And like I said, my other son, he is over in France at the moment with his girlfriend. So she's from Paris, and he's been spending time over there with her family. You know what I mean? And she's had some health challenges as well. And my son's got a few
Okay.
issues as well. So they've been supporting each other, and it seems like it's a good match at the moment. So. And like I said like we've just said, JB, if you want that
Yeah,
relationship to last, you have to work hard. There's a bit of give
yeah,
and take. There's a bit of
definitely,
give
brother.
and take, and then there's also the times when you've got to, jump in wholeheartedly and support someone. Support that other person. So it's hard work, but it's also rewarding work. You know what I mean? So I always say that about anything. I yeah, always say that about everything in terms of not to think about the work, but think about the end result, what that's going to look like. So and feel good about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so at the moment, the good thing is when Michelle finishes her surgeries, what that's going to look like. How's she going to feel? It's going to be all
Yeah,
worth it. It's going to be
yeah,
hard work going through it, and don't forget, it's going to be challenging as well in terms of our mental health, or especially Michelle's mental health and my mental health. So going through all those processes, those ups and downs, but at the end
yeah,
of the day, have a think about how much better she's going to be able to, live the rest of her life. How much
yeah,
easier it's going to be for her. So
yeah,
and that
definitely.
that makes me happy. You know what I mean? It certainly will
Yeah,
make Michelle happy, but it certainly makes me happy. That's going to
yeah,
happen.
definitely, brother. Definitely, definitely.
So always think about not the work, but the thing that's going to happen. The reason we do something to affect the change. And get the reward, I suppose. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's life, isn't it? Really, it's life, and
Well,
it's
yeah, well, and like we've talked about it before, brother. I mean, life's full of choices, isn't it? So
yeah,
you
definitely.
know, you know, and sometimes you do feel like giving up. But what happens if you give up? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
we talk about that the whole essence of hope, if you like. Like
yeah,
um,
definitely. Mm.
if you've got a glimmer of hope, you've got something there. You've got light at the end of the tunnel. If you've got no hope, well, then you're hopeless. So,
Well,
um,
and if you
yeah,
if you and you need to talk to someone about that, mate. You need to go and
yeah,
find out, what you can do better, what can happen. And look, even like with you guys, with your marathons and your runs, a lot of hard work goes into before that, and you probably get tired of getting up in the morning and going for that run sometimes, and you think, oh shit, I have to go for another one. But at the end of the day, once you finish, you see that finish line. How good does that feel?
Yeah, I look, and you're spot on there. I mean, like as you know, like it's 2 years ago now, but we did our 24-hour challenge, and I always say that 24-hour challenge, that keep moving for 24 hours, was like, the training for that was like another full-time job. So, because
Yes.
you seriously had to prepare for it, and it was, but it was a commitment to. Look, and we ended up raising about, we ended up raising, I think, nearly $10,000 for, Move from Midbar,
Yeah, yeah,
on at that time. So, for everything that had, um, it took its toll on us, it was fantastic to do, and I'd do it again. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Don't let
definitely.
out hear that, but I'd do it again. So, yeah,
Yes.
no, it was it's special times because you've got special people around you, and
Oh, yeah.
people want to give back, and
Mm.
like, even if we're talking about that, we hear about, Chris, Big Chris the lumberjack, the running
Oh, yeah.
lumberjack, come down, from Logan to run 21 Ks with everyone. He ended up running 100 Ks with me on the
Yeah.
day and night, and then we had, like Dwayne Bannon Harrison, and Shane Venables come up from Nowra, and they were going to run 21 Ks as well, and they ended up running 70, and then flew home the same night. So,
Yeah.
it's about bringing people together, like,
Oh,
and I
definitely.
think, and again, I think this is what we've been able to achieve, brother, with the JB and CJ, check-in. So I think it's
Yeah.
just about bringing people together, like-minded people, and
Yeah.
sharing a little bit about and celebrating what we all do well. So I think
Absolutely.
congratulations to you. Like, we're coming up to 5 years, and
Yeah, definitely,
um,
buddy. Yeah,
it,
no.
it,
Same to you,
it's been
mate.
hard.
Back at you. Yeah, back at you, brother. Yeah, like I think it was March, wasn't it? March 20th. So that's
March, yeah, March,
5 year
yeah,
celebration. Yeah, so that'll be really good. And like we're talking about big things in our lives, like the running and all that kind of stuff, health issues, all that kind of stuff. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be big, projects. They don't have
no,
to be big things that you do. And you feel good after you had a good week at work. That might
yeah,
be a
definitely.
time to celebrate that. Have a small celebration, have a think about it, and feel good about that. Yeah, yeah,
And Arnie Fran just said there's that favourite word, hope. So
yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's my favourite. It is my favourite word, but I know it's Fran's as well. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
yeah, well done.
yeah.
We might have to leave it there, brother. It's getting a little bit hard to hear it in because it's absolutely pelting down. So
Helping. Yeah. Well, the sun's still shining here, brother, and yeah, no, that's a good thing. So you know what it's like up here, wet season,
I do
cyclones
know what
and
it's like, brother. It's
monsoons and all sorts of
my
stuff. Yeah.
favourite place I've ever lived. So
It definitely is. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Mate, there's every little thing. Like, and I know we've got to leave it here, and I know that there's a whole range of different examples we can sort of talk about. But the one on my favourite one that I feel good every time I'm here in Cairns now is, and I've been able to go to the cemetery and get our family to help, restore our grandmother's gravestone. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
It was just a
Yeah,
magical
beautiful.
kind of thing to happen, and it just happened organically. It was hard for the first few weeks where I was going by myself, or with another cousin of mine or whatever. It was hard going. Like, we was using scrapers. We didn't have all the tools to be able to do it properly, but we persisted and we just got in and got a bit of elbow grease going, and on the knees doing all that sort of stuff. But then at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
it come up, treat, and hopefully it'll inspire those other kids to, especially those young people, to get in and keep those things
yeah.
up, keep them more restored. But mate, yeah, no, good to catch up again. This has been a real positive type of yarn today, and I think hopefully it's a good start for 2025. This is our first one, so uh, probably have a guest on. Hope we get a guest on next week. We'll have a chat
Yeah,
about talk about that.
we'll try and get Jan on because she was going to come on tonight, but she was just a little bit scared because she was on her own. So we'll get her on, have a
Yeah.
check in with Jan, and then we'll work from there, brother.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah. Excellent, brother. Good catching up with you again,
Yeah,
as
you too,
always.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. Look after yourself. Have a good week. Have a good week, Francis, Auntie Fran, and
Yep.
everyone else that comes and has a look at this later on. I know that people watch it after it's put up on
Sure.
Facebook. So yeah, have a good week. Throw some comments in the comments, and yeah, hopefully we'll get back to you. So good one, JB. Good week, brother.
I've got to go and cook dinner now.
Yeah, well, I've done that.
See
So
everyone.